Okay, so now we're starting to work on the bag, and I have burnt umber, titanium buff, white. So I'm mixing for now burnt umber and titanium white, and I'm putting a bit of water in there so it's more like a glaze. It's not thick paint. So now I'm just going to work on the pattern of the texture, I should say, the bag. And then I wait for it to dry, and then I will highlight certain areas. So I think here you hardly see the pattern. It's not very strong because it's the back of the bag. It's not the front. You will see more of the pattern in the front. But once it turns, it's in the back, then the squares that we're putting or the pattern that we're putting becomes tighter. So you don't see much. It's a suggestion in here. So anyway, honestly, the whole thing should be a suggestion. Shouldn't be too detailed. Okay. I'm going to darken a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. And use, again, more like a glaze. I'm going to start from the back. It should be darker. So and keep an eye on the values. I'm not worried about the lines being perfect. It's a suggestion, so some of them will be, you can see the lines strong, and some of them you won't. So the line, when you're putting the line, it doesn't have to be strong or perfect from top to bottom. Sometimes it will just disappear, and it's fine. If I find that my color is, or the paint is too light, once it's dry, then I will just glaze over it. Let's go a little bit darker here. we're gonna be putting leaves as well, so that will take away from the what we're doing right now. We won't see it that much because the leaves are going to take a bit of our attention away from the pattern. I'm just going to pause for a minute. Okay, so what I'm doing, see, this is too light right now, so I'm going to glaze it. I have burnt umber, and I have a little bit of black, ivory black, or any black you have. And I'm going to put, of course, titanium buff. And I'm going to bake it into a glaze. The only reason I'm putting black is just because in this brown, because the brown is showing, when I put it on by itself, it looks fine, but it's showing a bit of, it's changing the color of the bag itself. Yeah, that's better. It's too red, I think, if it's done by itself. I'm just going to put another one. And that's glazing right now. And I'm going to take a little bit more of the black with the brown, not black by itself, with brown. Actually, I should wait a bit until this is dry. And then I will put another glaze over, darker, over here, right there. So I'll just leave this for now, leave it to dry, and then I'll come back to it and glaze. Okay, let's go back. And also, I would glaze this. By the time it's dry, if I find that it needs glazing, I will glaze it too. Okay. I'm going to leave this, let it dry. I'll come back and do this part now. And we're glazing again. Again, I will put the pattern on, and if I find later on that it needs to be adjusted, and I'm sure it needs to be adjusted, it will need to be adjusted in terms of values, then I will do that. Like right here, if needs to be adjusted, the value needs to be darker, then I would do this after. And I'm not concerned about the line showing all the way down. It could just disappear, or as long as there are parts where I can see the lines, then I'll be fine. It's fine. It's mostly where the highlight is. This is where you see the pattern. You see it a lot more than any other part. I'm going to stop recording because that's just kind of the same going across, and then I'll come back to that. Okay, so now let's start highlighting a bit, certain areas. Okay, I'm taking a little bit more of the titanium buff with burnt umber, but more titanium buff. And I'm just going to come here, and then just kind of this area, there's a little bit more highlights in there. And I'm just going to create kind of show more of the weave. And also I can glaze this over after to show the, oh, geez. Okay. To show the lights and darks. I can glaze more darker, not lighter. When I go to light, when I glaze light on top, it's harder because light will cover the actual texture. But the dark, when you put dark on, it's okay to cover the, it doesn't matter, because once it's in the dark, you don't see the texture that much. But when it's highlighted, you will have to put the texture on and not put a color over the whole thing. It has to be, you have to be highlighting the texture. It looks much better than putting a big brush over it. Because then you will just conceal, or you will hide the texture at that point. So it is better to, when you highlight, to highlight the texture on the pattern, highlight it, show it. I think I'm getting darker here. The paint is drying fast. Let's put some water in here.
It looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Better than mine.
Oh, we haven't seen yours yet. I'm sure it's good.
Oh, no, I'm not doing it. I mean, the old one.
Oh.
I'm not doing it because I did so much of this sunsets, so I thought that I'm still doing the apple.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yes, no, I'm not doing it. I'm tired doing apples and oranges and baskets and stuff to do that. That's why. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now to all of
Huh?
all of these lines that I'm putting right now are looking kind of straight, too much.
No.
So,
Not at all.
hold on. I'm going to do something different now, just for you to see what makes the lines look better. Is just to create a weave, suggestion of a weave. So I will take my brush, see that line that goes all the way from top to bottom? I'm going to cut it with a lighter kind of dabs here and there across. Okay, let's put some more of these. I know it's fine the way it is right now, and it's really kind of okay, so it's no problem. But it would be nice if I do cut those lines a bit, and kind of create a suggestion of the lines intersecting.
Like going in and out.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been doing that with braille.
Yeah. And you, I mean, you were you can see that sometimes what I do is I put the brush and then I wipe it a bit, so the line is a bit softer. I soften the line. So, okay, so this one here, let's say, and then I'm going to go across. Okay. And of course, at the bottom part, I'm going to be using more, I'm going to put shadows. So I'll glaze it darker once I'm done. It will dry darker in certain areas. And I want to glaze some shadows on. Okay. Now let's go to, I'm going to let this dry. Once it's glazed, it will look, it looks better once it's glazed. Okay, I don't want to put too many of those lines because I don't want to, but it needs to be glazed. Okay, let's highlight this part. I'm going to take a little bit of white at this point, put it here, mix my white with the titanium buff, make it into a glaze. And I'm going to highlight this part. A little bit, not much. All right, I'm going to let it dry and then I will glaze it. Okay, let's glaze. So I have a bigger brush, round brush, and I'm using burnt umber with water, and I'm going to try to glaze where there's darker, where I lost the dark. So now, there we go. Actually, I like the burnt umber color.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah. I'm going to take a tiny bit of black with the burnt umber, and it's a glaze as well, because there are some areas where it's really dark. Oops, should do that. And go over this part. Now, what I'm going to do is glaze the whole thing in a light kind of burnt umber. It's burnt umber, only burnt umber. I know it looks lighter on the screen. I can see that. But just a wash. Because when I was using titanium buff, it actually changed the color and made it too light, too white. All right, now let's take a little bit more of black and mix it with the glaze of the burnt umber. And
the background is brown?
Yes, it's brown.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm going to do this part, which is really glazed dark right here. So you see, we can still see the pattern, but it's darker now. Okay. Let's leave it that way. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing right now, I am highlighting a little bit over the glaze. And even though I'm highlighting, but because it's a glaze, it's drying darker. Because the bottom part where I glazed is darker. So when I glaze the brown, okay, when I put the brown all over. So now I'm just putting those where the highlights are, where the area where there's a lot of highlight, I'm putting it back on. But again, just because the glaze is, the base is glazed in brown, the light color I'm putting on is looking good.
Very
It's
nice.
not too light. Thank you.
Excellent.
It's not too light. All right, so the more layers we put, the nicer it will look. But we don't want to spend too much time on this.
Yeah.
It's enough. Great. That's enough for today.
I think so.
All right, so we're done for this week. I probably will be working a bit on refining some areas, some details, and on the bag. But all in all, it's good and it's done for this week. We're good.